I'm in my early 20s, so I completely missed shooting on actual celluloid film. I've been completely digital throughout my whole time in the industry. Is there much difference between shooting celluloid film versus digital for you?
For me right now is a basic thing to, if you don't have a budget, to film it on digital, of course. And this is what I do most. Yeah, definitely. I do most of indie films or no budget films or anything like that. And I shoot it everything on digital. And I learned through digital, what you see is what you get, basically, right? So if you wanna color something, because I used to work recently, I lensed a film called Guillotine in LA. And it was a beautiful film to talk about the invention of the guillotine from 1700 revolution to 2003 on the time of Saddam Hussein's sons, chopping people up on the guillotine, basically, right? So it goes through 5 tales, let's say 5 chapters through different countries, let's say France, Germany, Algeria, Iraq, So every single subject, every single chapter of that film has different lighting and has different approach and have a different composition and have different movement even, right? Because let's say chapter number 3, I think it was a Nazi chapter, and it was black and white, 4:3, and everything was a handheld because we want a documentary, make it like as a documentary, So, but chapter 1, let's say, was more French Revolution, 1700th century, light didn't exist, everything was with, let's say, candles, with a lot of lighting on ceilings. So you want to feel the emotions and transport the audience to that century, right? So I get the color, and we work with this amazing colorist, Jeffrey Warowski. He is the colorist for The Matrix, which taught me a lot about how to feel the emotions of every color without using lots, right? Because he doesn't use lots. And I was asking him, can you use a lot, like a Kodak lot for this specific scene or something? And he used to advise me not to use those lots until we color the whole thing. And after the color correction, we process, every single scene to make it the way we want to feel it, right? Because emotions through film is where you have these emotions, like you can give hope, you can give playfulness, you can have a feminine color, you can have nature or innocence or freedom. Every single thing that we make on that specific film taught me that colors will transform the way we see it, because I used to color the movie with lights, with, I used to use a lot of teal. Teal is like my major color that I love to use for those specific frames in that time on that film, right? So I used to put teal on every single thing on the background without the director didn't even notice, and and then I learned little by little how I can approach through colors. So yeah, I'll say major part of your film is gonna be color process. Definitely, many people don't understand that color correction is not color processing, which is a lot of difference between those. But you gotta process every single scene after color correction, the whole thing, And many scenes or many films may not feel that they need the color correction itself, because you're going through your own specific set and range and exposure to every film, But at the end, I do believe they give you 70% more or even 80% more, and even creative side that you didn't even expect it. So yeah, it's a major thing. And even yourself, to, as a cinematographer, to educate yourself with DaVinci Resolve, which is, free for everybody to educate yourself, and a lot of other techniques that you can learn freely in internet. So yeah, I watch a lot of works from amazing cinematographers. I go to a lot of museums to see paintings, to see another people's work, to see AI work right now, to see, I want to see, what many people don't let you see, because it wakes up my curiosity, to research more. And I will highly recommend to watch other people's job, and especially, let's say, silent film. Let's say, Murnau or let's say I watch a lot of Alfred Hitchcock movies. Every single movie from Hitchcock that you see, let's say you do a marathon of 1 week of Hitchcock films, and that's like miles and miles of learning for myself, right? I watch a lot of Scorsese, not only the gangster movies like Goodfellas and Casino. I watch a lot of like, let's say, Mean Streets or Taxi Driver. Every single Scorsese movie, I believe those two, let's say Hitchcock and Scorsese, those two will give you most of the education on film. They will talk about aware of performance, composition, lighting, movement, feeling, the tone, the moods. Oh, and also I will add Kurosawa to it. Let's say Kurosawa is also a big inspiration for myself, definitely. Yeah. And of course, I follow. I follow on podcasts, and I follow on sometimes on PDFs, on books, or I follow through any single video that I can watch from cinematographers, or any single movie that they done. I admire a lot of women cinematographers like Ellen Kuras, Polly Morgan, Rachel Morrison, Reed Morano. I watch a lot of Rodrigo Prieto's film, El Chivo Lubezki, of course, Wally Pfizer, Gordon Willis, Haskell Wexler. I mean, those cinematographers that truly, truly teach you most that you can get through films, right? And they always be part of some magazine, and they talking about something new, and they, if you look through those, you will feel inspired to, I can actually make that on my scene, or I can copy that, or I can, research a little bit more about what they're doing. The other day I was seeing a Ed Lackman talk about how he's trying to patent his own false color technique.
Airy, Sony, Panasonic, red. 18% gray is 18% gray. We could then take a frame grab from the digital chip, and you could see a representation of the exposure in your frame, and how much detail in either the highlights or the shadow area you want to hold. One would be able to create a frame grab of a scene and recreate it exactly in the exposure values at a later time.
Which is very interesting, for example, and it's something that now that I saw that, I adopted to myself, to my life. And I made my own false colors, with choosing my own primary and secondaries, and, and now I put it on my Flanders monitor, and I adopt it to my films. Or if I'm going to a set and they have a small HD, I can just plug it in and I can just work with it, So it's important to be updated with those techniques.